Hello, and a very warm welcome to everyone listening to the Everyday English Listening Podcast. We are so happy you are here with us today. Picture this scenario: you walk into a room full of strangers. Maybe it's your first day at a new job, a networking event, or your first English class. Someone approaches you with a friendly smile and says, "Hi there, tell me about yourself." Suddenly, your palms get sweaty, your heart starts racing, and all those English phrases you practiced just disappear. If this sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. According to research, introducing yourself is one of the top 3 fears for English learners worldwide. But here's the good news: it doesn't have to be scary anymore. Today's episode is extra special and comprehensive. We're going to transform you from someone who fears introductions into someone who can confidently introduce themselves in any situation. Our host Erin is facing this exact challenge. She's starting a new English class next week, and she's terrified about introducing herself. Fortunately, her friend Evan, who is an experienced English communication coach, is here to guide her through everything step by step. Together, they'll cover casual introductions, formal introductions, business networking, and even how to handle those awkward moments when your mind goes blank. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's master the art of introducing yourself in English. Trust me, by the end of this episode, you'll feel like a completely different person.
Evan, I'm so grateful you agreed to help me today. I've been losing sleep over this introduction thing, and I know it sounds silly, but I'm genuinely terrified.
First of all, Erin, it doesn't sound silly at all. Do you know that even native speakers sometimes struggle with introductions? It's completely natural. But tell me, what exactly scares you the most about it?
Well, there are so many things. What if I forget my words mid-sentence? What if my pronunciation is terrible and people can't understand me? What if I say something that makes no sense? I keep imagining everyone staring at me, judging my English.
Those are all very common fears, and I want to share something important with you. Most people are not judging your English, they're actually hoping you succeed. When someone introduces themselves, especially in a learning environment, people are usually thinking, "I hope this person feels welcome," or "I wonder if we have something in common." Here's a secret that changed my life. A good introduction is not about being perfect. It's about being memorable and creating connection. Think about it. Would you rather meet someone who speaks perfect English but seems cold and distant, or someone whose English isn't perfect but who seems warm, genuine, and interesting?
That's actually a really good point. I never thought about it that way. I've been so focused on not making mistakes that I forgot about connecting with people.
Exactly. And here's another secret. Preparation eliminates 90% of nervousness. When you know exactly what you're going to say and you've practiced it enough, your confidence naturally increases. Today, we're going to build your introduction toolkit, different types of introductions for different situations.
A toolkit, I love that idea. It makes it sound less scary and more strategic. Where do we start?
Let's start with casual introductions because they're the foundation for everything else. Casual means relaxed, friendly, like when you're meeting someone at a party or a coffee shop. These are usually shorter and more personal.
Okay, casual introductions. I think I can handle that better than formal ones.
Perfect mindset. Now, every great casual introduction has 4 main parts, like ingredients in a recipe. The greeting, your name, something about where you're from or what you do, and a personal touch that makes you memorable. Let's break it down. Part 1, the greeting. For casual situations, you have lots of options. Hi, hey, hello, all good. But here's a pro tip: match the energy of the situation. If it's a lively party, "Hey there" works great. If it's a quiet coffee shop, a gentle hi is perfect.
So I should read the room first.
Exactly, you're getting it. Now, part 2, your name. The simplest and most natural way is "I'm Erin." But here are some variations that add personality. "I'm Erin, nice to meet you," or "I'm Erin, by the way." That, by the way, makes it sound very natural and conversational.
Oh, I like that. I'm Erin, by the way. It sounds so much more relaxed.
Great choice. Now part 3, your background. You can talk about where you're from, what you do, or both. For location, you have options. I'm from Ho Chi Minh City. I live in Ho Chi Minh City, or if you want to tell a mini story. I'm originally from Da Nang, but I've been living in Ho Chi Minh City for 3 years now.
I love the storytelling approach. It gives people something to ask about.
Brilliant observation. That's exactly the point. Good introductions give people conversation hooks, things they can ask about. Now for part 4, the personal touch. This is what makes you memorable. It could be a hobby, an interesting fact, or something you're passionate about. Instead of just saying, I like cooking, try, I'm completely obsessed with trying new recipes, or I love experimenting in the kitchen, sometimes successfully. That little bit of humor makes you instantly more likable.
Okay, let me try putting it all together. Hey there, I'm Erin, by the way. I'm originally from Da Nang, but I've been living in Ho Chi Minh City for 3 years now. I'm completely obsessed with trying new recipes. Sometimes they actually turn out edible.
Erin, that was absolutely fantastic. You had humor, personality, and great conversation hooks. People would definitely want to talk to you more after hearing that. You're a natural at this.
Thank you, that felt really good to say. But I'm curious, what are some common mistakes people make in casual introductions?
Excellent question. Let me share the top 3 mistakes I see all the time. Mistake number 1, giving your life story. Some people think they need to share everything in the first introduction. Remember, this is just the opening, save some things for the conversation that follows. Mistake number 2, being too modest or negative. I often hear things like, my English is terrible, or I'm not very interesting. Never put yourself down in an introduction. Even if you feel nervous, don't advertise it. And mistake number 3, forgetting to show interest in the other person. After you introduce yourself, always ask something like, what about you? Or how about yourself? This shows you're interested in them too, not just talking about yourself.
Oh wow, I definitely would have made mistake number 2. I always want to apologize for my English first.
So many people do that. But here's the thing, when you apologize for your English, you're actually drawing attention to any mistakes you might make. Instead, focus on your message. People care much more about what you're saying than how perfectly you're saying it.
This is all so helpful, but what about my English class? I feel like that's more formal than a coffee shop conversation.
You're absolutely right. A classroom setting does require a more formal approach. Formal introductions are like putting on a nice outfit, same person, but dressed appropriately for the occasion. Let's rebuild your introduction for your class. In formal settings, we use more complete sentences and slightly more sophisticated vocabulary. Instead of hey, we say hello everyone or good morning everyone. Instead of I'm Erin, we say my name is Erin or even I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Erin.
That already sounds more professional. What else changes?
Great question. In formal introductions, we typically include your name, your professional background or student status, why you're there, and something about your goals or interests related to the situation. For your English class, you should definitely mention why you're learning English. Let's build this step by step. Start with a formal greeting, then your name, then your work, then your motivation for learning English, and finally something positive about being there.
Okay, let me try. Good morning, everyone. My name is Erin. I work as an office administrator for an IT company here in Ho Chi Minh City. I'm taking this English course because I want to communicate more confidently with our international clients. I'm really excited to learn with all of you.
Erin, that was excellent. Professional, clear, and engaging. You gave people multiple conversation starters, your job, your company, your goals. That's exactly what a good formal introduction should do. Since you're doing so well, let's tackle an even more challenging scenario: business networking events. These are situations where you might meet potential clients, colleagues, or business partners.
Oh no, that sounds terrifying. Is it very different from what we've practiced?
It's not terrifying when you're prepared. Business introductions are actually very structured, which makes them easier in some ways. The The key is to be professional but still personable. You want to be memorable for the right reasons. For networking, you typically include your name, your role and company, what your company does briefly, and something that makes you memorable. You might also mention what brings you to the event. Here's an example. Hello, I'm David Chen from Tech Solutions. We help small businesses streamline their operations through custom software. I'm here tonight hoping to learn more about the challenges local businesses are facing. What brings you here?
I notice he ended with a question. Is that important?
Absolutely. In business networking, you want to quickly turn the focus to the other person. Questions like, what about you? Or what brings you here? Or what kind of work do you do? Help create a two-way conversation instead of just talking about yourself.
Let me try a business version for myself. Hello, I'm Erin. I work in the IT department at Dataflow Solutions, where we provide cloud computing services for medium-sized businesses. I'm attending tonight's event to learn more about the latest trends in our industry. What line of work are you in?
Perfect. You sounded confident and professional, and that question at the end was smooth and natural. You're really getting the hang of this.
I'm starting to feel more confident, but I still worry about what happens if I freeze up or forget what to say. Has that ever happened to you?
Oh, absolutely. Even experienced speakers sometimes have mental blocks. The good news is there are strategies to handle these moments gracefully. First, buy yourself time with phrases like, let me think for a moment, or that's a great question. Second, have a backup plan. If you forget your prepared introduction, fall back on the basics. Name, where you're from, what you do. It doesn't have to be perfect. Third, remember that pausing is okay. A 2-second pause feels longer to you than to your listeners. And here's my favorite emergency technique. Redirect with a question. If you completely lose your train of thought, you can say something like, but enough about me, I'd love to hear about you, or I'm curious, what's your experience with? People love talking about themselves, so this usually works perfectly.
Those are such practical tips. I feel like I have a safety net now. What about body language? Should I be thinking about that too?
Great question. Body language is just as important as your words. Stand up straight, make eye contact, and smile genuinely. If you're shaking hands, make it firm but not crushing. And here's something many people don't think about: speak slowly and clearly. When we're nervous, we tend to speed up, which can make us harder to understand. There's one more important aspect we should discuss: cultural awareness. Different situations and cultures have different expectations for introductions. In some business cultures, you immediately exchange business cards. In others, you spend more time on small talk first.
How do I know what's expected?
Observation is key. When you enter a new environment, watch how others are introducing themselves. Are they formal or casual? Are they sharing personal information or sticking to professional details? When in doubt, err on the side of being slightly more formal. You can always adjust to be more casual. Also, don't be afraid to ask for clarification. If someone introduces themselves in a way you didn't expect, it's perfectly fine to say, should I introduce myself to the group as well? Or, what's the usual format for introductions here?
This has been incredibly helpful, Evan. I feel like I have a whole toolkit now, but how do I make sure I don't forget everything when I'm actually standing in front of my class?
Preparation and practice are your best friends here. Let me give you a complete practice strategy that will make you feel completely confident by the time your class starts. Step 1, write out 3 different versions of your introduction: casual, semi-formal, and formal. Practice them until you can say each one without looking at your notes. Step 2, practice in front of a mirror every day. Watch your facial expressions and body language. Are you smiling? Do you look confident? Step 3, record yourself with your phone. I know it feels weird at first, but it's incredibly helpful. You'll hear if you're speaking too fast, too quietly, or if you're using too many filler words like and Step 4, practice with a friend or family member. Ask them to give you feedback. Step 5, practice in the actual environment if possible. If you can visit your classroom before the first day, stand at the front and practice your introduction there.
That's a comprehensive plan. How many times should I practice each introduction?
I recommend practicing each version at least 10 times out loud. The goal is to make them so automatic that even if you're nervous, the words will still come naturally. Think of it like learning to ride a bicycle. At first, you have to think about every movement, but eventually it becomes second nature. Since you're doing so well, let me share some advanced tips that will really make you stand out. First, use the hook and follow-up technique. Instead of just stating facts about yourself, present them in a way that invites questions. For example, instead of saying, "I work in it," you could say, "I work in IT, and I recently helped my company transition to a completely remote work system." Now people have something specific to ask about.
That's clever. It gives the conversation a natural direction.
Exactly. Another advanced technique is the bridge statement. This connects your background to the current situation. In your English class, you might say, "I work with international clients," which is actually what motivated me to improve my English and join this class. And here's one more: the future focus ending. Instead of just talking about what you do now, mention something you're working toward. "I'm hoping to expand my skills so I can take on more international projects," or "my goal is to be confident enough to present to our overseas partners."
These tips are gold. Let me try incorporating them into my class introduction. Good morning, everyone. My name is Erin, and I work as an IT coordinator for a company that recently expanded into international markets. This expansion is actually what motivated me to join this English course. I want to communicate more effectively with our global team. My goal is to feel confident enough to lead video conferences with our overseas partners.
Erin, that was absolutely phenomenal. You used multiple advanced techniques naturally. You gave people conversation hooks, connected your background to your current situation, included a future goal, and ended with genuine interest in others. If you say that in your class, you'll make an outstanding first impression.
Evan, I cannot believe how much more confident I feel right now. When we started, I was genuinely scared about this introduction. Now I'm actually looking forward to it. I feel like I have real strategies, not just hope.
That transformation you just described is exactly why I love teaching communication skills. You haven't just learned some phrases, you've developed a skill set that will serve you in countless situations throughout your life. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. Every confident speaker was once nervous about introductions. The difference between people who remain nervous and people who become confident is simple: practice and preparation. You now have everything you need: casual introductions for informal settings, formal introductions for professional environments, strategies for handling nerves, techniques for making yourself memorable, and a complete practice plan.
And I love that these skills will be useful beyond just my English class. I can use them at work events, social gatherings, networking meetings, anywhere.
Exactly, these are life skills. And here's something wonderful: each time you use these techniques, you'll get more comfortable and more natural. Before you know it, introducing yourself will feel effortless. For your homework this week, I want you to practice each type of introduction at least once per day. Start with the casual version since it's easier, then move to formal, then try the advanced business version. By the time your class starts, you'll be ready for anything.
I promise I'll practice every single day. Thank you, Evan. This conversation has been life-changing. I feel like a completely different person, confident, prepared, and actually excited to meet my new classmates.
That's the best thing I could hear, Erin. Remember, confidence is not about being perfect. It's about being prepared. You're going to do amazingly well, and I can't wait to hear how your first day goes.
Wow, what an incredible, comprehensive, and truly transformative conversation. A huge thank you to Evan for sharing such detailed, practical strategies, and to Erin for asking all the questions we've all been thinking. Let's recap the key takeaways from today's in-depth episode. First, confidence comes from preparation, not perfection. Second, good introductions create connections, not just convey information. Third, different situations require different approaches. Casual, formal, and business networking each have their own style. Fourth, advanced techniques like conversation hooks, bridge statements, and future focus can make you truly memorable. Fifth, having strategies for handling nerves and mental blocks gives you confidence even in challenging moments. And finally, consistent practice makes these skills feel natural and effortless. This episode was packed with actionable advice, so we encourage you to listen to it multiple times. Take notes on the parts that resonate most with your specific situation. Practice the different introduction styles until they feel natural. If this comprehensive guide has been helpful for you, please support our podcast so we can continue creating detailed, practical lessons like this one. First, hit that subscribe button. It's completely free and ensures you never miss a new episode filled with useful English learning content. Second, we'd absolutely love to see your introductions. In the comments below, share your own introduction using one of the techniques Evan taught today. Will you go casual, formal, or business style? We'll read every single comment and cheer you on. Third, if you know someone who struggles with introductions or is learning English, please share this episode with them. Sometimes the best gift we can give someone is the confidence to introduce themselves with pride. Remember, every time you introduce yourself, you're opening a door to new opportunities, friendships, and experiences. Make it count. Until next time, keep practicing, stay confident, and remember, the world is waiting to meet the amazing person you are. Thank you for joining us on the Everyday English Listening Podcast. Goodbye and see you in the next episode.